Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. I've been holding on to this confession for what feels like an eternity, buried deep in the pits of my guilty conscience. But maybe sharing this here will give me some clarity or advice from those who've been in my shoes. 3 years into my marriage, I made an unforgivable mistake. It was just one night, a night that I rationalized as a momentary lapse of judgment. I had an affair. My husband was out of town for a business trip, and I was feeling particularly lonely and vulnerable. That night, I went out with the girls, and that's where I met him. We talked, laughed, danced, and one thing led to another. By morning, the weight of what I'd done crushed me. I vowed never to let it happen again, to bury the secret, and to love my husband with all my heart to atone for my sins. My husband, Matt, is the epitome of what anyone would desire in a partner. He's charismatic, kind-hearted, and the life of every party. He's the type of guy everyone in town knows and loves. We've built a beautiful life together, with mutual friends we see regularly, dinner parties, game nights, and trips. He's always made me the center of his world, and to think I betrayed that trust haunts me daily. For years, I pushed that one-night stand to the back of my mind, convincing myself it was a one-off mistake, until recently. Last month, my company hired a new executive director. When he walked into the boardroom, my heart sank. It was him. Let's call him Alex. Every meeting, every casual chat by the water cooler, it's like our past comes rushing back. Alex has made it clear he hasn't forgotten that night. He sends me sly smiles, winks, and messages that straddle the line of being professional and flirtatious. It's like he's everywhere, and escaping his presence at work is impossible. The worst part? I find myself uncontrollably attracted to him. I've caught myself fantasizing about him more times than I'd like to admit. It's maddening. Why do I feel this way? I have a loving, amazing husband at home, yet my mind wanders to this man I barely know. Every interaction with Alex is like dancing on the edge of a cliff. It feels thrilling and dangerous. I need advice. Has anyone been through something similar? How did you cope? How did you find clarity in the whirlwind of emotions? I'll keep you all updated on how this unfolds. For now, I'm looking for kind words, guidance, and maybe a virtual shoulder to cry on. Here are a few of the responses that she received. Response 1. I haven't been through this exactly, but my best friend did. She gave in to the temptation, had the affair, and it ended with a heartbreaking divorce. What struck me most is how much she regrets it. The immediate thrill was short-lived, and the aftermath was tormenting. Every day she lives in the shadow of that choice, with immense guilt and loneliness. Please think long and hard before making any decisions. Don't lose what you have for a fleeting feeling. Response 2. Oh honey, I've been there. 3 years ago, I was in a similar situation and couldn't resist the temptation. At first it felt exhilarating, like breathing life into a part of me I didn't know was suffocating. But the eventual fallout was devastating. I lost my husband, my friends, and my self-respect. It's been a daily battle with regret ever since. Take it from someone who's walked this path. The price is too high. Focus on your husband, and maybe consider counseling before it's too late. Response 3. This is a challenging situation and emotions can cloud our judgment. But remember, temptations come and go, but the choices we make have lasting impacts. Consider seeking marriage counseling or individual therapy. They can provide clarity and tools to navigate these tricky feelings. Communication is key. Response 4. We're all human and can find ourselves attracted to others, even when we're in a loving relationship. But remember the vows you took and the life you've built. It's natural to feel drawn to the excitement of the unknown, but oftentimes the fantasy is better than the reality. Trust in the love you and your husband have cultivated over the years. Response 5. It sounds like a story straight out of a novel, with all the accompanying twists and turns. But real life doesn't always have happy endings. If there's anything books have taught me, it's that choices come with consequences. Maybe pen down your feelings, confront them, and decide if a fleeting attraction is worth risking the narrative you've been building with your husband. Here's her first update. Hello Reddit, it's me again. First, I want to thank everyone who took the time to share their thoughts, experiences, and advice on my previous post. It's been a whirlwind of emotions since then, and I'm back with another update. Matt, my husband, informed me last week that he's once again headed out of town for a training seminar. I made the foolish mistake of letting that slip in front of Alex during a team meeting. I immediately regretted it, and if I had any doubts about his intentions, They were cleared up in the subsequent days. Ever since I mentioned Matt's absence, Alex has been increasingly forward with me. He's casually dropped hints about being free those nights, making ambiguous comments about spending quality time outside of work. I can't help but feel he's trying to seduce me into repeating the mistakes of the past. My mind is in turmoil, making it hard to focus on anything else. All I can think about is him, the impending nights alone, and the looming temptation. I even landed myself in hot water at work. My distraction led to a delay on a few vital reports. My supervisor, who's always been rather strict, called me out on it. Just as things seemed bleak, Alex, of course, swooped in like a knight in shining armor, managing to smooth things over. I've been spared any formal reprimand, but the way he handled the situation made me feel like I owe him something. And maybe I do. I've been desperately trying to make plans to fill up my evenings while Matt is away. Movie nights, spa evenings, catching up with old friends. Anything to keep my mind occupied and away from Alex. But with each passing day, my resolve is being tested. I promise I'll be back with another update after this challenging week is over. Wish me strength, Reddit. If anyone has advice or distractions to recommend, I'm all ears. Here is her final update. Hello, Reddit. I wish this update was a positive one, but I fear I have reached the lowest point in my life. I messed up, profoundly. The 3 nights my husband was gone, I found myself succumbing to temptation. The passion and magnetism I felt with Alex were undeniable. We met at a hotel during lunch hour, and I spent the evenings at his place, lost in a passionate haze. Every touch, every glance, I felt like I was drowning in emotion and desire. We made love with an intensity that left me breathless, as if our souls were intertwining, but fate had other plans. On the 3rd night, in the midst of our passionate embrace, my phone buzzed relentlessly. It was my husband. He had returned earlier than planned. Panic settled in as he called 10 times before I finally mustered the courage to answer. I was flustered, unprepared, and stammered out a haphazard lie that only fueled his suspicion. He asked where I was, but I could not give a clear answer. Under the pressure of him asking, I finally sent him my location, attempting to play it off as a friend's house. But he knew. I knew he knew. In haste, I left Alex's place, urging him not to answer the door if my husband came knocking. I reached home and my husband was gone, so I went in and took a shower, and then got into my pajamas, waiting for the inevitable confrontation. But nothing prepared me for the cold, dead look in my husband's eyes when he returned, a look that communicated more than words ever could. It turned out Alex did answer the door, and he confessed. Everything. To make matters worse, he even told my husband that I'd be fired the next day. I learned later that in a fit of anger, my husband had punched him, leaving Alex sprawled on the ground. Now, my reality is bleak. My husband won't speak to me. I tried, oh how I tried, to reconnect even physically. But the disgust on his face when he pushed me away, his bruised knuckles a painful reminder of the chaos I've unleashed. It's haunting. I received divorce papers. We share a home, but he might as well be 1,000,000 miles away. My job? Gone? Alex? He's turned cold, distancing himself, and I've heard he blames me for the backlash he faced at work, a consequence of my husband's phone call to the company. I'm shattered, Reddit. My world, meticulously built over years, lies in ruins. The guilt, shame, and the weight of my actions bear down on me. I never imagined my life spiraling this way. I'm lost, devastated, and I have no idea how to piece myself back together. I just don't understand how I could have made these mistakes, and how I'll ever have a normal life again. I just want my life back. If anyone has words of solace or advice, now is the time. Here is one response that she received. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, just question indeed. I mean, Christ almighty, what on earth did I just read? This seems to be a common theme amongst these confessions. The wife never owns up to the fact that she made a choice and was only acting out of pure emotion and not one shred of logic. Even with the warnings from some of the other Reddit users, she just blew right past that and slept with Alex anyway. Is this a problem with all women? Should men always have to compete not only to get, but also to keep his wife? Shouldn't she also try to make things good for him as much as he does for her? Does she recognize all that he does to care for her? Are all marriages doomed to misery or to total failure? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.